Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today is going to be part 3 of my series on TrueTimber Strata Camo. And when I say part 3, I mean that I've been putting out about one video per year on this camo pattern and the gear from TrueTimber. So if you're new here or if you just haven't seen those other videos, I would encourage you, whether before or after this video, doesn't matter, but go back and watch those other videos. In video 1, I went over a lot of the basic gear, some of the things you're probably going to want to start with if you're going to start building out a kit from TrueTimber. And then I also spent some time talking about the value proposition, what I thought their value was as far as price to quality. And I also spent some time out in the woods showing you what this camo pattern looks like in the woods. So if you're interested in this pattern, that's a really good video to watch. Number 2, in the second video, I went over some more equipment like rain gear, down jacket and pants of a couple of different styles, and some other jackets and things that were thrown in that mix as well. Now, over the course of the last year since my last video, I've gotten several viewer requests for certain pieces of gear that I had not tried, that I've not tested, I've not gotten a chance to wear, or even just get my hands on it at all. And so I reached back out to TrueTimber and asked they'd be willing to send me a few more pieces, that way I could sort of round out the entire collection. There's probably a few pieces that I don't have, but for the most part, I've checked out just about everything that's available from TrueTimber. So a couple of things to note here before we dive in is that TrueTimber did send me all of the things that we're going to look at today. They sent them to me for free, so if that's considered a bias to you, then go ahead and just note that before you listen to my feelings on all of this equipment. But be aware that they're not paying me to make this video, they're not telling me what to say, they're not sponsoring me to make this video or any other hunting videos or anything like that. They've just sent me this gear to wear and to use, and so that all of you can make an informed buying decision. One of the things that I've been frustrated about with TrueTimber is their website is often a little bit cumbersome to figure out exactly what you're getting. They might have a picture or two, but it's a little bit tricky to figure out what that piece of equipment is actually like, or that piece of clothing. Now, another thing to point out before we dive in is that today I'm reviewing gear from TrueTimber themselves. So TrueTimber is sort of twofold. They have a camo pattern, and they use that camo pattern on their own clothing line, which is what I have here today. But be aware also that TrueTimber also licenses out all of their camo patterns to other clothing manufacturers. For instance, you can go into Bass Pro Shop and you can find this camo pattern on the Redhead brand of clothing. So I'm not today reviewing that clothing or necessarily even the camo pattern. I'm reviewing specifically the clothing that's made by TrueTimber that uses their own camo pattern. Now, before we dive into this stack of clothes today, there is one piece of equipment that's not clothing that I want to show you that's kind of unique, that I haven't shown anything like this before in my TrueTimber series. So pretty much everything that I've reviewed from TrueTimber is their clothing lineup, but they do have some things other than clothing, like coolers and even some blinds and things like that, a variety of different things. But this particular item struck my eye. This is a waterproof duffel. It's a 75-liter dry bag duffel. All the zippers are really nice. This is a I don't know, I guess like a plasticky, rubbery kind of feeling duffel here. All of the zippers are really nice. This is nice size capacity. There's a couple of zippers on either end, so there's a small pocket on either end, both ends. There's also a small pocket you can probably see right here, and all these have waterproof zippers right there. And then you've got the main big compartment, and inside this main, quite large compartment, you've got a couple of mesh pockets on either side. So this is going to be a really awesome addition for me. You guys know I like to do boat access hunting, but I'm also hoping to maybe get in to do some kayak camping or canoe camping, where having a dry bag is going to be really handy. And in the off season, when I'm not doing those kind of things, this is also going to be a really nice place just to store my camo and an extra place to store my gear. Now, one more thing I want to point out about this duffel bag is that not only is it a really nice duffel, and you can pick it up like this with the handles, but these handles also can double as backpack straps. And so you could load this thing up and carry it like a backpack. Of course, I don't have very much weight in it right now, but it feels pretty comfortable. One thing to be aware of is there is no waist belt strap with this. So if you're going to load it up with a lot of weight, you are going to have all of that weight sitting on your shoulders. But this is just a cool piece of gear that I wanted to get my hands on and demonstrate to you, just so that you are aware that TrueTimber does offer some things besides camo. They've got, like I said, coolers and dry bags. They've got some blinds, and they've got lifestyle gear. They've got a bunch of different stuff, so it might be worth your while to go over to TrueTimber's website and check it out. For me, I'm really excited about adding this dry duffel to my kit for boat access hunting, camping, and that kind of thing. All right, so one of the pieces that I got a request about from a viewer over the last year or so was the long tail parka and pants. And that's what I'm wearing right now. Now, the name parka for this gear is a little bit maybe misleading in my mind. When I think of a parka, I think of a really big, really heavy jacket. What this is basically a rain jacket and rain pants combo. Now, in my previous video, part 2, I showed you the Hydratech packable jacket and pants. That's rain gear. And that kit is really, really nice if you're looking for something very packable. But it's fairly thin material. There's really not any warmth or insulating value to it. And so if you're looking for something maybe a little bit more durable, an extra layer that's going to add some insulation but still give you that waterproof properties, then this is going to be a really nice set. Now, I haven't got a chance to try it in the rain yet, but I have used it out in the snow, and I've really enjoyed using it in the wet snow. It's kept me dry, and I've really, really enjoyed it. This jacket has a lot more features than the jacket that is the Hydratech jacket. I believe the Hydratech jacket is a pullover jacket, not a zipper. This is a full zip jacket. It also has nice deep pockets out here, as well as an extra set of pockets up front, quite a number of pockets. One interesting point to note is that it has pit zips, so if you get hot, you can zip these zippers down. It's quite long, and you can open that up and get some ventilation there under your armpits. This jacket is really, really nice, and I'm really excited to add this to my kit. However, if there is one little bit of a negative that I feel about this jacket, it's that right in here, it's just kind of awkward. This part feels a little bit too big right here in a way, but then underneath there's this extra layer of lining, and I've actually found that that lining feels a little bit too small. I actually have worn this jacket with the jacket I'm about to show you next, and you know how you kind of like hold the jacket with your hand to get your arm through? I have a little bit of a hard time getting my arm through. And that is one thing I found with some of the pieces of TrueTimber gear is that they can be awesome, but then there'll be just one little spot where the fit is a little bit strange. I have another jacket where everything fits great, except a little bit around the collar is a little bit weird. This jacket, everything fits great, but it just feels a little bit weird here around the cuff. It's just a little bit awkward. Maybe it's just my style. And of course, when I say this is big, it does have a Velcro here, so you can cinch that down. That's totally fine. It's just, well, that's the one part of this jacket that's not my favorite. Otherwise, I absolutely love this jacket. Now, for the sake of video, and you can't really see my legs here, I'm not going to put these pants on, but these are the pants that go with them, and I really, really enjoy these pants. They've got some elastic. I can wear these over another pair of pants very, very easily. However, if I'm only wearing maybe like one thin pair of pants, I am going to need a belt to hold these up. The elastic is not quite tight enough to hold it up, but there's plenty of room here if I want to wear these over a heavier pair of pants. They've got pockets on the back. They've got waterproof zipper pockets here on the front. And one of my favorite features with this pair of pants is that they have zippered legs, and these zippers come up very far, probably taller than the knee. One of my complaints when you're trying to get pants on and off, maybe over a pair of boots, is that the zippers don't come up far enough, especially if you're like me and have size 12 boots. I actually had these on yesterday. I was out fishing, and I thought, well, I'm going to put these on in the morning. It's a little bit cool. I wore them a good part of the day. Then once it warmed up, I took them off, and I had no problem getting them off over my boots without taking my boots off. These zippers are really, really nice and long. Now, another thing I should point out about the jacket and pants is it's thin. It's a thin jacket. This is not what I would call a heavy, heavy parka. However, it does have some insulating properties. It has this nice, I guess I would call it sort of felt material on the inside. There's a little bit of warmth to it. Right now, I'm getting warm just wearing this jacket. This is not a winter jacket that's going to keep you warm in all seasons, but if you are looking for sort of an outer shell layer that's going to provide a little bit of insulation and that waterproof that you're looking for, I'm really impressed overall with the TrueTimber. It's called the Longtail Parka and Pants. The next piece that I want to show you is this windproof polar fleece. And I have to tell you, this may be one of my new favorite pieces from TrueTimber. Now, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know that I think it was the very first video I showed you the high pile fleece hoodie. And I love that thing. It is very, very warm. But one of my problems using that over and over again in hunting season is that it's not zippered, and so you're constantly pulling it over your head. And while it's very warm, if you need to take it on and off, maybe for a hike in, and then put it on when you get in there, it's just a little bit more cumbersome. This jacket, being a full zip jacket, is really easy to get on and off. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not the high pile fleece of that other hoodie, so I don't think this is quite as warm, but it's very, very comfortable. It fits me very, very nicely. I don't have any complaints about the fit, the finish. It's really, really nice. This is also advertised as windproof. Now, how do you prove what is windproof and what's not? Well, I've said this before. Sometimes just going out on the four-wheeler is a good indicator, but I've worn this several times out in some pretty windy conditions, and while I don't know if I would quite call it windproof, I can definitely tell that it's cutting the wind. That's something that the high pile fleece hoodie is not advertised at, and I would definitely say does not do very well at. It just doesn't cut the wind. So while that hoodie may be a little bit warmer in non-windy conditions, this jacket here is going to have that benefit of blocking the wind. I feel like this does very well blocking the wind. It's very comfortable. It's easy to put on and off. And I have made some criticisms in the past about there being a little bit of a missing hole in the lightweight to mid-weight jacket category. Well, I think this fits that category really, really well, and I wish I'd gotten my hands on it sooner. Like I said, probably one of my favorite light to mid-weight jackets that TrueTimber has to offer, and I can see myself in the coming hunting seasons using this jacket a lot. And the fact that it has that windproof ability is just going to give it an extra gold star in my book and mean that I'm going to be going to grab this jacket a lot more often. Again, I am getting warm wearing it right here. It is warm. It's not going to be your winter jacket, the warmest thing ever, but it is going to provide a nice insulating layer and block the wind as well. Next up is this performance hoodie. Now this piece is probably not going to make its way into my regular hunting equipment. This is more what I'm going to call an everyday piece or a lifestyle piece. It's called a performance hoodie because it's more of that synthetic material, the sporty kind of material. It feels really nice, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it's not just solid camo. It's got some really nice colors with some accents of camo as well. So when I want to run down to the store, I'm not full out camo, but I can still kind of show my splash of pizzazz and my love for the outdoors. It's very, very comfortable. Like I said, it's an awesome piece for your everyday wear. Now, if you do like a really tight cuff for your hoodies and you like that nice elastic cuff that's tight around your wrist, this doesn't quite have that. There's a little bit of a bag here. And so if you like that tight, this may not be your favorite. But if you don't like that tight constriction on your wrist and you want a baggy cuff on your hoodie, then this is going to be just right for you. Otherwise, fit and finish feels really nice, fits me really well, and I'm going to enjoy wearing this as an everyday hoodie. Next up, I want to address this all-in-one hoodie. Now, I think it was video 2 where I actually already showed this shirt, but TrueTimber actually mentioned that it pairs really nicely with the last product on the table today, so I thought I would just show it again. This is a lightweight sport material shirt. It's a long sleeve shirt and very stretchy fabric, very comfortable, but it is an all-in-one hoodie. So it has a face mask as well as a hoodie. Now, when I say hoodie, please keep in mind this isn't a hoodie like I showed you a moment ago. This is a very lightweight shirt, but this is perfect for maybe going out fishing and keeping the sun off of your neck. I found myself wearing it all the time last deer season, just for when it got, I'd wear it as one of my bottom layers, but when it got a little bit too cold, I could just pull this face mask up. I don't need a really heavy mask, just a little something to keep my face warm for a minute. Or even sometimes in early season, if I wasn't wearing a warm hat or a jacket with a hood, I could pull that up and just give myself a little extra warmth. And I found myself wearing this all the time. Now, I probably mentioned this in a different video, but do be aware that this fits a little bit baggier than some of the other shirts that you get from TrueTimber. I usually wear a large. This is a large also, but it just fits a little bit baggier here through the arms and through my chest than some of the other shirts. However, I don't think I'm quite small enough to go down to a medium without it being too tight. So if you're smaller than me, you may be able to get away with a medium. If you're my size or a hair bigger, you're probably going to be fine with the large. Just kind of be aware of that fitment. So this shirt, though, I've really enjoyed. I wore it a ton during last deer season, but it would also be the absolute perfect shirt, I feel like, for turkey season. When you want that concealment and you want to be able to pull that mask up and pull the hood over your face or over your head, you're going to get some really great concealment, and it's all in one. You're not trying to like pull the mask over your head or twist it around your neck because you're wearing one of those tube style masks. This is always right here. It always stays in place, and I really enjoy it. And speaking of turkey season, if you're looking for a perfect pair for turkey season, then I think this pair of pants, which is the Pulse Spike Cave pants, would really be an awesome combination for your turkey season. This is a lightweight pair of pants, but that does feel very durable. They've got a little bit of stretch right here. They've got some really robust looking zippers on the back. You've got your pockets on the front, and then on both sides you get this pocket, which I'm going to show you the other side here. It has a button, actually 2 buttons, where you get your pocket down inside. There's actually some little dividers down inside of there. But then you also get this diagonal pocket right here, which goes both ways, but you can fit some extras in there. Now, one thing to also mention is they have these zippers down by your boots, but the zipper is only, well, let me open it up here for you, only about that long, probably maybe 12 inches, not nearly as long as the ones on the long tail pants that I mentioned earlier. So these are going to be a little bit harder to get over your boots. They also have these reinforced knees, and I should also mention that the fabric is just really stretchy and really nice. Now, one thing that I'm really excited about these pants is that they're lightweight, but they're not ultra lightweight. So what do I mean by that? I think it was the very first video. I showed a pair of pants, and I can't remember now what they're called. Maybe the elk spring pants. I still have them, but to be honest, I haven't worn them very much. They're super, super lightweight. But what I found is that when I was walking through the woods, they just felt like they were swishing all around me, and I'd maybe put my phone or my wallet or some turkey calls or something in those side pockets, and they were just really would swish around me because the pants themselves had no weight, so they were just sort of flinging everywhere. This pair of pants is very light. I think they'd be perfect for turkey season. I don't think they're too heavy in any way, shape, or form, but they definitely have a little bit more thickness to them. There's a little bit more thickness to the pockets that I think are going to keep things from just swinging around, and I think that this pair of pants is going to be an absolutely awesome pair of pants for your turkey season. If you combine it with this all-in-one hoodie, I think you're going to have an awesome turkey hunting combination for those warm weather hunts. Well, I hope you enjoyed this third part in my series on TrueTimber Camo. Now, if you are interested in purchasing any of this gear from TrueTimber or anything else from TrueTimber, please do me a big favor. Go down in the description and find my link to their website. It's not going to cost you anything extra, but I will get a small commission if you click through my link to go over and make your purchase. Now, obviously, there's no pressure from me to make that purchase. I want you just to make an informed buying decision. But if you're going to buy, it would really help me if you would use my links down in the description. Now, if you have any questions about this gear and you did not get your question answered, or there's a piece of gear that you did not quite hear what you wanted to hear or find out what you wanted to find out, please let me know. Leave me a question in the comments, and I will do my best to get that answered for you. Also, please let me know, would you be interested in seeing a video about my favorite pieces of gear out of all three of these different videos? Which pieces are my favorite? If you want to see that video, let me know down in the comments. Until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.